and thank you for being here. My name is Savannah Besserell. I am the Strong Mamas Thriving Babies Program Director here with the nonprofit Yana. Um, Most of you should be on this call because you're in our Strong Mamas Thriving Babies program, so welcome. I will pop my contact information in the chat at some point. If anyone ever has any questions about the Strong Mamas Thriving Babies program, please feel free to reach out to me. We are joined today by another Savannah, Savvy with
Hello.
Newbabyology. Yes, hello. Thank you so much. So her company, Newbabyology and The First 16 is just really focused on that newborn transition. So she has a lot of experience as a postpartum doula and a newborn care specialist. And I love the way that you worded this, Savvy. She is just really a mom baby like holistic coach and just sort of helping you get things in order. So I know it can be a big transition, especially if this is a first baby, but even if it's not, going from one to two or even two to three, like it's changing a lot of dynamics in the home, and every baby is different, every person is different. So I know she's going to have some great stuff to share. You're welcome to stay off camera. If you do have questions, you're welcome to unmute. You can also pop them in the chat as you come up with those questions, and then Savvy will be kind of keeping an eye on that as she presents. But all that being said, I will turn it over to her.
Thank you so much. Hello. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I know it can be difficult. All right, let me make sure that I can actually do this technical part here.
And I did go off camera, but I am still here. So if you need any help, I'm happy to help.
Thank you. Of course, it's giving me all these options. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you for being patient while I figure this out. And also, if you can see all my tabs, do not laugh at me because I have a lot of tabs open right now.
Me too, mentally and on my computer, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
this is life, right?
Yep.
Um, okay, I'm hoping that it's here we go. Okay, can you see it?
Yes. Yep. We
Okay,
see just the first slide there, the mom behind the baby. Love it.
awesome. Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for attending. As Savannah said, I'm Savvy and the founder of Newbabyology. I have a strong passion for supporting families feel calm, confident, and supported during one of life's biggest transitions. Today's focus is going to be caring for the mom behind the baby, not achieving perfection. Again, I'm Savvy. I'm a newborn care specialist, postpartum doula coach, infant sleep coach, nutrition coach. I basically help um, new families from birth to 16 weeks. That is my specialty, and I have supported about 100 families, or if not a little bit more. And I've been doing this for the last 20 plus years. Okay, the first 16 weeks. One of the biggest transitions a family will ever experience emotionally, physically, and relationally. Everything changes in an instant. It's completely normal to feel overwhelmed, uncertain, and unprepared. Those feelings do not make you a bad mother, they make you human. This tender period requires intentional support, gentle guidance, and deep understanding for both you and baby. Um, It is normal to feel completely overwhelmed, especially if you are a new mom and this is your first baby, because you go from like having your life, doing your things, having your routines, having your checklist of the things that like you have to do each day in order to have your day be um like kind of just like what your needs are. There's a checklist like taking a shower and like eating food, and all of those things kind of get pushed aside. Um, as well as like maybe you were in a huge career and then you just stopped and then you just now have a baby. And so all of those things are kind of like we're doing like an identity change essentially into a new mom. And that can be extremely overwhelming. It can be uncertain. Um, and it just takes some time to kind of get used to the new you. And that's kind of what we like are going to be talking about. You're not failing if you feel like it's overwhelming in any way. You're just learning. You're just learning a new life essentially, a new you. Okay. So, the mom behind the baby. Most people, as you know, often are celebrating the baby while forgetting that moms are healing physically and emotionally. What's really important is to encourage hydration, nourishment, rest, and accepting support. Caring for the mom is also caring for the baby. And I know that in like all the time. Any sort of help that you have, anyone who would like to come help you or say hello, everyone just goes straight to the baby. Oh my gosh, the baby, look at the baby. But like mom should be celebrated too because you just like made this baby, and it's very difficult for people to understand that, I think. Let's talk about recovery. Your body has done something extraordinary. Rest, gentle movement, and intentional healing are not optional. They are the foundation of your postpartum journey. Sometimes, as moms, we definitely think that we need to do everything, and we are supposed to recover quickly, step into this new role as a mom, and know everything that's going on. Plus, sometimes, you know, you still have to do other children, or you have pets, or you have things around the house, and sometimes thinking that you need to do all of those things, um, it's too difficult to do all of those things, but that's just like how we're programmed. We're programmed to have 500 things on our brain to do all those things. But what's really important is the recovery afterwards for you, including like understanding that it's okay to rest. Like that is part of your recovery, which I know, like me as a millennial, didn't know what rest really meant until I started like actually taking time out into rest. And I'm like, oh, it's so important. And it's important for you as a new mom as well. And I understand that that can be difficult to try to figure out in terms of like, how can I rest? What if I'm doing this on my own? And I would be happy to answer some questions if anybody has any questions on like how to manage some of those things. Like, how do I take a shower? What are some things that I can do to make sure that my needs are being met during the day as well? Um, I can't currently see if anyone is asking questions, but if you want to save those questions or think through those, we can talk about them. Or if anybody wants to ask, I'm
I
happy
can
to
do for
stop
you.
it.
Yeah, New York. I don't see any questions in the chat. I am happy to keep that open, and then I can just come off mute if I see one hop in the chat.
Yeah,
Otherwise, if you do feel comfortable and you just want to come off mute and ask Sabby a question, you're welcome to do that as well.
yes. Please interrupt. No, no problems there either. Okay, so the next part is nourishment, and I think that the nourishment piece of it is something that is really not tapped into a lot. And I do find that to be a lot of why sometimes we as moms feel so tired, exhausted, like what can't can't figure out what's going on in your brain with your hormones. And I think nourishment is is so important. The warm meals, hydration, nourishing foods to replenish your body and support your energy, mood, and milk supply. You deserve to be fed and cared for too. So I find that even when people help or sign up to bring food, a lot of times they're bringing over like casseroles and cookies, and it's so sweet of people. People's intentions are so amazing. However, sometimes that's just like not what you need. And so I have definitely helped moms with kind of creating a little, like, if people are asking how they can help, it I can help create a, like, generate like a little like note that just like helps suggest, you know, here's some things that I know that might help me right now, and it's not cookies. Um and I it's hard to like know what your body needs, and we can talk about that a little bit later in the next like couple of slides. And also I have definitely suggestions if anybody is looking for like what should I be taking in during the day to support my recovery. I'm happy to help with that as well. But I do think it's important, and I do find it does take you in out of the survival mode into a little bit more of like thriving, which I think um, we would all love to be in that recovery. The next part is emotional well-being. Your feelings are valid. Joy, grief, overwhelm, and love can coexist. Tending to your emotional health is one of the most powerful gifts you can give to your baby. And I think this is an important one because a lot of times there is a little bit of a generational gap between how our parents and grandparents used to um, raise children into and deal with emotions, and now moving into this new generation where it is important to talk about how you're feeling, and none of your feelings are weird, crazy. Like, I'm sure we've all experienced the same feelings. And also, motherhood is not like as beautiful as everyone says that it is. Sometimes I wonder, like, are you being honest with yourself if you think that like it's just gonna be an Instagram, afterwards, which it can be for some people, and I like am so grateful, like so grateful that people can share that with us, but that's not always the case. And it is always going to be different for everyone because of delivery and the things you experience during pregnancy. And it's okay to feel those feelings. And I think what's the most important part is that you are thinking about those feelings and wondering what should I do? What can I do with these feelings? And sharing them with your partner is the biggest thing. And if you don't have a partner who is supportive in that regard, definitely reaching out to someone who can help you. And I know that there's a lot of support in Yana to help with that. But I am also, I'll talk about that later too, but I'm also here to offer that support if you need as well. Okay, the mom behind the baby. Caring for yourself is not a luxury, it is essential. Your recovery, nourishment, and emotional well-being matter just as deeply as your baby's care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And so I love this part the most because it is exactly like when you're in an airplane and you need to put your mask on before you put your child's mask on. And that is the same for you. I understand that when you have a baby, your mom instincts are like, I let's just do everything for the baby. And it carries far into parenthood, even when you do have teenagers, but slowly starting to plan in the things for yourself from the beginning, even if it's one to two, three things a day, can really help you change that mindset of like, okay, I can take time for myself and still care for my baby. Okay. So the four pillars that we kind of already like touched on, recovery, healing takes time, lots of time. And I like kind of the first 16 weeks as a good foundation for, hey, it's going to be a rough 16 weeks, and let's see what we can do to try to get into more of the thriving versus surviving. Nourishment, food is fuel. Including hydration. Hydration is like so important, and we always are forgetting. One thing that I like talk to my clients about right away is setting up stations that you can have easy things to grab, easy snacks that you know, listen, I'm definitely going to eat that snack. So just put whatever your favorite snacks are, something that you can grab one-handed, making sure that you have water like in a couple different places that you can just when baby's eating, you're eating type of thing. Trying to like kind of find that like, okay, I can toss in a couple more calories to help you, or even the hydration. The rest, lower your expectations and rest when possible, even if that is not getting sleep, but just resting your body and your mind. Connection. No one is meant to do this alone, and it can be very isolating. It can be isolating if you have family who's not supportive or even here to help. It can be isolating if your partner's not helping. And I know that Yana does like an amazing job of supporting the connection with others so that everyone doesn't have to do it alone. And I think it's really important and something that can be hard to reach out for that connection, but that everyone should at least try to because um, it's isolation and worry and all the things doing it by yourself can just be so hard. And you definitely deserve to have people who can, just say, "Hey, how are you doing?" or um, be there for you to be like, "I'm losing my mind, help me." The foundation of a thriving postpartum experience is caring for you and your baby together. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about gentle newborn rhythms. Um, my philosophy is like a gentle guidance rather than rigid schedules. I do support schedules, but I like the gentle guidance piece. And that's kind of where like your baby is already communicating with you. You're learning to tune it. You're learning to tune in that creates a calm, connected foundation for your whole family in these precious early weeks. So, like following baby's cues, like it's a every day is a learning day when you think that you might know your baby's cry or like you get in a rhythm and you're like, ooh, it's the same. And then the next day it's not. And it's really just a learning experience as you go. You're following the baby's cues, you're building flexible, gentle routines, reducing overwhelm, by building flexible, gentle routines, it does reduce overwhelm. When you just like put together, for example, every time you feed baby, you change baby's diaper, wake baby up, kind of like talk to baby, sing to baby, whatever sort of little routine you have. This is just an example. And then you feed. And so that is something that you will look forward as like a routine that you look forward to each time. And then eventually, for example, it can go to reading books before nap time type of thing. So whatever kind of routines you build with yourself and your baby, it's just kind of nice because it becomes more predictable and you're not feeling overwhelmed like what's going to happen next? What are we going to do? Is it time to eat? It's really nice to kind of build those gentle, again, flexible, gentle routines that you just are able to know, okay, this is what's going to happen and this is what we're going to do. And, I do find that we don't remember what day it is because we do the same thing every day. And that's not always a bad thing. Um, Gentle guidance over pressure. If you ask other people or talk to other people or see on the internet, all the things, everybody is doing something different and everybody wants to, you know, have the best or do the best. And I think it's important to just continue to focus on what you and your family are doing, um, and not the pressure from other people. Trust the process and trust yourself. Um, a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit for the intuition that you do have. And it does take time. Sometimes it takes time, but learning your baby is the first step of getting that process. Okay. Here is the nourishing mom slide. And this has more in depth, like I had said, about like it's important to feed your recovery. What you eat in the postpartum period directly supports your healing energy and milk supply. Nourishing yourself is not a luxury, it is part of your recovery. So what's really important is to prioritize protein at every meal. Like everybody eats different types of proteins, so I think I listed a couple of like suggestions that are helpful. However, I know that everybody likes different things, and so these are just like suggestions that you might take if you need them. Definitely like iron-rich foods. Again, let others feed you and accept meals. Stock your freezer, and remember, nourishing mom is nourishing baby too. It's also great to have all these like meals, but if you're if you don't have the meals, it's okay. I honestly think that it's better to create things that are like snacks sort of thing, like a charcuterie board for moms, essentially, that you just like have things that you can just grab and snack one-handed, grab and snack. It's better than, you know, being overwhelmed with this process of, oh, I have to have all these things in this one meal. Building a board or just having those things accessible to you is definitely helpful. And I can also help if someone is interested, I would be happy to like talk more on what this looks like and kind of how you can map out your day food wise. But I do find it to be like so important and can be such a difference with hormones, with recovery, with fatigue, with feeding, and just like even your emotional well-being. Okay, mindset. Mindset is a big one, and I think we are easily able to get out of our own head based off of social media and anything on the internet or anything that we read, anything that we see. Um, I really find it to be, it's really important to give yourself grace, celebrate your small wins, practice a 5-minute reset with breathing, gratitude, and asking for help. Um, one of the things that one of the reasons that I continue to say ask for help is because I do find it to be difficult to ask for help or even to delegate. Um, One thing that I share with new partners is kind of like it's it's really difficult because partners and family members, friends are always like, what do you need? What can I do? What do you want me to do? And that can be difficult for us as moms to even um, say any of those things. Like, yeah, I would love it if you just could help me with my laundry today. If you could um, do the dishes for me. Like, asking those things can be difficult, especially if it is something that is in your daily routine. And I think it's important to try to practice to do that because one of the biggest things that you will may learn, may not, not everybody, delegating or having people help you just really takes those extra things off and allows you to be more present. And it's always about progress over perfection, giving yourself daily grace. You are doing more than enough, even on the hardest days. Small wins matter. A 5-minute nervous system reset, breathe, pause, reset is a powerful act of self-care. One of the things that I like to suggest in that 5-minute nervous system reset is to go through all of your senses and like what are you smelling? Like smell your baby, take that in. Um, Maybe take a quick photo to remember the moment. What is the temperature like? How are you feeling? And then really taking those deep breaths to bring yourself back in to reset your nervous system. Our bodies tend to get sort of on this fight or flight mode after we have a baby, and it can be from trauma and it can be just from having a baby. And so resetting your nervous system constantly can help with just stepping out of that fight or flight mode to allow your body to be present. Also, the permission to ask for help. Receiving support is not weakness, it is wisdom. You deserve care too. Again, not everybody has support that they feel that they can ask in that way. And so I think obviously that is where Yana can help in that direction. Like, I know there's lots of people to talk to and offer that support. Also, I know that like in-laws and parents can be difficult, and I think that it is important to talk with your partner about communicating and how you will communicate to parents, because sometimes discussing things before like family members come over, like, are we're not kissing the baby, please wash your hands. If you have a cold, please do not even enter. Like, the tiniest cold could make my baby sick. Please don't put your lips all over my baby's lips, type of thing. Those kinds of things, I think, even if you haven't discussed before baby with your partner, I think it is important to discuss those things because they do come up after you have a baby, and it may be something that you have changed your mind about prior. And now you're feeling these feelings, and it's really important to get those feelings out because you are the mama bear, and it's important that your rules matter. Your rules do matter. Okay. Moving on from mindset, talking about building your village. Um, Obviously Yana is the huge village. Um, your partner and family are your first circle of support. Share your needs openly, invite them in, allow them to show up for you during this sacred season. Friendships and community nourish the soul, whether in person or online. Connecting with other mothers and loved ones reminds you that you are seen, heard, and never alone. Sometimes we have those things that we are doing alone and we don't share with someone. And when we do share with someone, they give us a new perspective. And so I think that the friendships in the community are great, even if it is with someone who hasn't had a baby yet. I know a lot of people have babies and their friends don't, and it's kind of difficult to relate after you have a baby, but sometimes just verbalizing what you need to share and connect with your old friend is still important. Professional support. Newborn care specialists, postpartum coaches, doulas, and lactation consultants are here for you. Asking for expert guidance is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. And there's even other additional like newborn support if need be, but there's a lot of professional support if, you know, partners, family, friends, and community are not an option. You were never meant to do this alone. Lean into your village and let support change everything. All right, gentle takeaways. You are enough. Your baby doesn't need perfection. Small moments matter. Trust yourself, and support changes everything. So, gentle takeaways. Carry these truths with you as you step into the season of motherhood. You are doing more than enough. You don't need to know everything, just the next small step. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. Trust yourself. Your instincts are stronger than you think. Ask for help, receive it graciously. Support changes everything, and you deserve it. So, one thing about the like asking for help and receiving it graciously, it can be so difficult to do that, including like things around the house. I find because you have your particular way about how you like to do the dishes or the laundry, or maybe you don't, but sometimes it can be difficult to let other people help. And I find that if it is that way and you're unsure how to ask for help, sometimes making a quick list of like what could help you and sharing that with whoever would like to offer your help can be very helpful. Um, and that way it's not like nobody's walking on each other's toes and you're not feeling like it's a waste of time or that it's like you're, um, having to have a family member come over and you're having to entertain them. Like that's also not helpful. So again, just communication in that aspect, I think is really going to be helpful. And if you can't verbally communicate it, writing it down is another thing that you can do, or sending a text. Um, and sometimes all you need to do is just get it out. And sometimes just writing a text or the email or getting it out is all you need. Okay, bringing it all together. Um, so there is no perfect way to parent. Every family is different. My hope is that you leave feeling calmer, more confident, and less alone. Supporting yourself is supporting your baby. And I have additional resources. Learning doesn't end today. If you'd like to continue exploring trusted postpartum and newborn sources, or simply stay connected, I have included well, I think Savannah has my Linktree link that everyone can just click on it. I'm not sure if it's on here or clickable so that you can click on to my link. Um, but I am offering like a discovery call or more of a consultation call and just or text message. Texting is fine also. And I'm happy to um, expand on anything that we talked about or just talk through anything that is going on in your life. I would say that I am sort of stepping into that role of being more of like a coach on in that aspect. So texting and emailing at any time is great, and for anything, honestly. Thank you so much for attending, and I encourage you to ask any questions, lean on your village, and remember you're doing better than you think. And yeah, I'll open any question, any and every question if you have any.